Karyn Bryant for MMA H.E.A.T. I'm here with Scott Coker, the CEO of Strikeforce. And Scott, you have a very big fight card coming up in March, headlined by the women. Ronda Rousey is going to be challenging, I keep saying title challenging, Miesha Tate. How excited are you about this fight, and why did you decide to make it the main event?
I'm very excited, and it's going to be a fight that I think that all the fans want to see, and I personally want to see. And how it got put together is the Zuffa team and Showtime and myself. We sat down and we said, we think that this is going to be a great fight. We think it's going to be a ratings deliver for Showtime, and they agreed to it. And so I was very happy. Zuffa was happy, and I think that this is going to be a fight that. These girls are not, like I said earlier, these girls are not just good to look at, and don't let your eyes deceive you, because these girls are explosive. They're the real deal, and I think people have to separate the two, because once the cage door's shut, you're going to see a fight, and these girls can fight at the highest level. Obviously Ronda fighting in 2 Olympics and medaling in 1 of the Olympics in Beijing. And look at what Miesha accomplished when she fought Marlis Kunin. She was the underdog in that fight. A lot of people thought she couldn't do it, and perseverance paid off. And she is getting better and better and better, and developing more skill in each area, fighting in mixed martial arts. So we're expecting a great fight and exciting fight.
And you disagree with the statement that people don't watch women's fights, right? Because you said historically the women's fights on Showtime have done well.
I can tell you right now, the second highest rated show ever in the history of Showtime is still a female fight between Karyn and Cyborg. Right, and the fight between Marlis Kunin and Miesha Tate actually spiked higher in the ratings than our main event that night, which was a guy. So to me, it's there's an interest, and I tell you, our female followers and our female fans love it, because they feel like it's about time to let the females come and fight, right? So we're going to support it. We've always supported it. In 2006, we did the first sanctioned female fight in the state of California. That was Gina Carano fighting Elena Maxwell, and that wasn't on TV. We just had a tape from the Game They Can, and it was a great fight. It was a standing ovation. It was the only fight that got a standing ovation that night. Went to a unanimous decision, and ever since then, when we can, we put on some female fights that were just unbelievable.
And is it the fact that you would get more eyeballs? Is that the reason Ronda got the shot over Sarah Kaufman?
No, I mean, to me, it's like this. You have to separate the two. I mean, my thing with Sarah is like, look, just be patient. You'll have your shot. Ronda has fought how many fights on the ground, which is one of the staple points of mixed martial arts. It's like saying a jiu-jitsu fighter that's had 1,000 fights come in here and fight a fighter with 1 fight. It's not going to be a fair matchup. Or if you have a boxer come in and he's fighting KJ Nunes, but he's got 50 fights as a boxer, its styles make fights, and this style is going to be a perfect matchup for a great fight. So to say that she's not deserving or she wasn't the #1 contender, people have their opinions, but to me it was about her past Olympic experience and her past judo fights and all that training she's put in since she was a teenager. You have to put all that into account when you decide at what level she can compete, and we just felt like she could compete at the highest level. And don't forget, her last fight was against a fighter that had 15 fights, and she beat her within a minute, right? So, and I think this fight is going to be another one of those fights where don't blink, because it's going to be on.
What do you make of her hype for the fight? She's gifted in the smack talk.
Yeah, it's great. I told her earlier, you're doing a great job. Keep it up, because she's a great promoter. She's making it easy for us, right?
I was gonna say, you need to have her coach some of the other fighters in there to get a little
I think that everybody just kind of are who they are, right? Miesha, who she is, and she does a great job, promoting the fight. And Ronda's kind of the over the top, but that's her. Like, if you hang out with Ronda, that's her. She's she's a little bit nuts, right? So, but in a good way. And so, to see a female fighter that, understands there has to be publicity and understands that you have to back it up, though. You got to walk the walk and you got to talk the talk. So, or walk the talk. So, to me, at the end of the day, both these ladies are marketable. They're both beautiful girls. Went to radio stations in Ohio. They thought they were just like models. Like, would you bring the ring girls today? And we're like, no, these girls are our fighters. And and then when they find out who they were and researched them a little bit, they were like, holy moly, these girls are really good. And world-class athletes, not just, these aren't just state champions, and these are world-class athletes. And, I think you'll see that on March 3rd.
I keep hoping that you can book them on shows like The View or some of the women's shows, because honestly, it's important to grow the female fan base as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that if you look at our ratings, I think that 30% are female. And when you go to our audience, we even had up to 35% female. So there is a big female contingency. And to me, this is martial arts, right? And so to me, females should do martial arts. They should understand martial arts. They should understand self-defense. And this is self-defense and female martial arts at the highest level. So to me, you're right. I know they'll try. And Ronda's been on Oprah before. I'm not sure if you knew that. Yeah, she's been on Oprah. Yeah, when she was competing as an Olympian. So, she's been on the I mean, she's in PR at the highest level too. So, it's great. And but I think there'll be a lot of interest from the female audience, the female contingency, the female industry on this fight when they fight on the 3rd.
And lastly, what are your aspirations for Strikeforce for this year? Are we going to see an end to? Are we going to see Josh and Daniel fight? Are we going to see more development with the women? What are your hopes and plans for this year?
Well, I tell you what, I think that we've always put on great fights, and we've always had world-class athletes, and Showtime has been a great partner, and that's going to continue. And you know what? To me, Daniel Cormier's hand is hurt right now. But we're hoping that by April, May, he'll be ready to go. That's the word I'm getting. So he and Josh will finalize that tournament, which I'll be so happy when that finishes.
You and everybody else.
Yes, exactly. So injuries happen in sports, unfortunate. And then there'll be one more fight for the winner in Strikeforce as a heavyweight, and then eventually they'll probably all move over to UFC in the heavyweight division. And I'll tell you, that heavyweight division in UFC is going to be amazing. It's already amazing now. Now it's going to be, it's just Alistair. I'm so proud of him, and I can't wait for that fight, him and Dos Santos. I'm going to take Alistair all the way.
Well, and I lied. This is really the last question. Speaking of Alistair, Fabricio was fighting tonight, and
Fabricio.
Nick Diaz. So I feel like you're like the patron saint of Nick Diaz in a way.
Well, here's the thing: is that people ask me, do you want the Strikeforce fighters to win? I'm like, of course I do. Of course I do. But it's all in the family now, right? So it's just I spend a lot of time with these guys, and you get to know Fabricio, great guy. You spend time with Nick Diaz in his camp, and more Caesar than Nick, and spend time with Alistair for 10 years now, getting to know him and his whole camp. And so they become friends, and so I'm just rooting for my friends to win.
Well, it's going to be fun tonight, and good luck to you and Strikeforce in 2012, and congrats on booking such a great fight with these ladies. It's going to be great.
It's going to be fantastic. Thank you very much.